Hello and welcome to another episode of Cool and Goods, a series where we take a look at some neat features War Thunder has that not many people know about. This can be anything from an insignificant detail in the game all the way to a major game mechanic. Anyways, enough of the rambling, let's get to the video. The planes in the Italian test flight drop their torpedoes in the water. You can change the color of your thermal sights and invert them. The options are gray, green, and red. If you edit some text in the War Thunder game files, you can change the hit and enemy killed messages. I'll leave a guide to it in the description. If you look close at the Su-85's hatch, you can see some footprints left by the crew as they were getting into the tank. On American Desert, the train has a model interior. You can also move the train around if your tank is big enough, with a towing cable or by brute force. And if you're patient, the train will give you a honk. You can also manage to get killed by the train if you drive your tank into one of the carriages. In Alaska, the interiors of some buildings are lit up and have stuff inside them. They're not actually 3D modeled, they're just combined with the glass texture, but it's still a pretty neat detail. Speaking of Alaska, if you shoot the concrete block near the spawn, it will actually fall down. Tanks can get dusty, muddy, or snowy depending on the terrain. Superficial structures on tanks such as pieces of metal can be blown off if they're hit. Anti-air vehicles will follow your plane in the test drive. The FJ-4B has a unique guidance system icon on the secondary weapon selection list. If you hold Alt and click on a special weapon such as a rocket in the BMP-2M, it will actually fire that weapon. And while we're at it, if you hold Alt and hover over a shell, it will show you the statistics and the animation of the shell. The German test flight map has a train and will honk if you get close to it. And yes, you can destroy it. While we're here, the German test flight map also has a random bit of smoke near the factory, and it disappears if you get close to it. Speaking of wheels, if your tank has them, the modification will show a picture of a wheel instead of a track. Italy, Japan, and Sweden are the only nations without a P-47. The Z-37 is the only premium SPA in the game. You can click on the premium vehicles in the hangar, and they'll take you to the preview page. The bridges in Tunisia can collapse if your tank is too heavy. The newer modern vehicles have clearer frames than the older modern vehicles. Most of the Italian fighter cockpits aren't fully sealed. Speaking of cockpits, you can set up a keybind to turn the lights on and off in the cockpit. This will only change the inside of the cockpit though, so your enemies can still see your lights from the outside. When you're looking at a dead tank, your enemy reticle will turn orange. The L3 is small enough to fit under the train carriages. The moving tanks in the hangar don't actually have crews inside them. Speaking of the moving tanks, they'll pause for a bit if you switch nations while they're on screen. Also, to use this cool photo mode, all you gotta do is press Alt and F2. This will only work if you have an NVIDIA graphics card though. In Vietnam, the speakers play Viet Cong propaganda.
You are new here, and we don't expect you to believe us when we tell you how bad it is. It is a flat, scary jungle, thick with the scrub trees and tall grass, hot and wet in intermittent rain, and strong tropical dragonflies, and Viet Cong sniper bullets. You are a long, long way from Fort Riley now, and there is no Jersey Cafe in Washington Street where you can sit around the counter eating hamburgers and sipping coffee without having to be afraid a bomb might go off, like it did at that restaurant in Saigon a few weeks back. You can get killed here. Get out while you are still alive, before it is too late.
You can also destroy the speakers by shooting at them, and this will stop them from playing audio. The Italian M113s use American crew models. Your tank battery drains faster when you move your turret. The radar on the extra view of the Gepard rotates when you shoot. There are anti-personnel mines in Normandy, and you can blow them up by driving on them or shooting them. You can zoom in and out of the map before you spawn. On maps that have statues like Abandoned Factory in American Desert, you can destroy said statues. As of patch 2.7, there are a total of 36 flags in the game. Not counting the main 9, they are the Dominion of Canada, Canada, Israel, Turkey, the Philippines, the German Empire, West Germany, East Germany, Poland, Argentina, the Kingdom of Hungary, Romania, Finland, Russia, Syria, Egypt, Australia, the Dominion of South Africa, Japan, the Army flag of Taiwan, Vietnam, Bangladesh, North Korea, the Kingdom of Italy, Portugal, and Austria. Speaking of countries, Israel is a nation with the most vehicles that doesn't have a separate branch with a total of 8 vehicles, 5 of which are premiums. In Air Arcade mode, you cannot deal damage to your teammates. On the topic of planes, there's a mission interruption in the aircraft test flight screen. You can make all sorts of scenarios and test your piloting skills. You cannot drop bombs if you're going faster than Mach 1. Environment conditions affect your tank shell's performance. On cold maps, your shell's velocity will be lower than on hot maps. You can change the place of your shells before you spawn. The Japanese H1G Kitasaru is the only vehicle in the game to have female crew models. Speaking of pilots, a lot of the pilot models in the game don't actually hold the control stick. By shooting your weapons, you can speed up or slow down depending on where you shoot. You can change the time of day and the weather conditions in the test drive screen. The carrier in the American test flight is destructible. If you change the scale of the UI in the options menu, some of the text will actually overlap. The Z-37 and KV-85 have buckets. Magnetic mines can be used to destroy tanks. On the Bridge test flight map, there's a cliff that you can fly through. On some vehicles, ATGMs take longer to reload than regular shells. If you stall climb on an ME-262, you will start doing flips. And finally, if you shoot a pilot on a parachute, the UN is legally allowed to hack your computer and uninstall the game. Thanks for watching. There are a couple of people who told me about some of these neat facts, and I've left credit where it's in the description. If you have any more cool and goods, please leave them in the comments. Other than that, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.